So, Dave, Rosie, Falling Red, thanks for joining us on Behind the Noise.
Okay, no problem.
Have you recovered from last night?
Kinda.
That's no problem, us leaving the house, yeah.
It was
Rose.
good. I was there. It was good. It was busy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
I'm
was
getting
awesome.
there.
Awesome.
You got your nice Spider-Man cup there.
Damn right I have.
Lift that up to
I
the
just want to
camera.
know who brings
the biggest-
their own mug to an interview.
He is the first guest in 20 guests that's brought his own cup.
Yeah.
Damn right, because it fills so much tea in it.
That's impressive.
I rang him up and said, I'm really thirsty, can you bring me a can of juice from your house? He brought his own mug.
And no juice for you.
Where's my juice?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I get a bottle of water,
I
thanks.
get a bottle of water.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And he's not even giving it to you.
I know, he's keeping it over there.
You don't need it yet, do you?
So last night was originally penned as your album launch, but it
Yeah.
ended up not being your album launch. Is that because you signed with RPM?
Yeah, basically what we've done, we've done something very similar with Empire. We planned everything around the pledge. So basically, when we launched the pledge 3.5 months ago, you obviously have to give a pledge end date.
Yeah.
So we put that in and went, right, so 17th of October, the album will be ready, and then we'll launch it on the 28th.
Yeah.
Then, obviously, got talking to Terry at RPM, went through everything that we wanted to try and do with the album. And
Biscuits were exchanged.
biscuits and cakes were exchanged.
And then release schedules and all that.
And then basically, because she has her own PR team, plug-in team,
Yeah.
distribution team, everything. Basically, she says, right, well, we need 3 months to get
Time.
behind it, to
Lead up
promote
time,
it.
innit?
Yeah.
But obviously, we didn't want to let down the people that we had already told.
Yeah, so the pledges have all got
So
the
the
album.
pledges have got the album.
I've got it.
You've got it.
Anybody who was at the gig last
anyone who
night.
comes to one of the next
Oh, so
9
there's two that's
dates,
coming up. You'll
yeah.
have it all them shows.
And then once that's finished, no
Is it
one else can
March
get it
it
till the
comes out?
18th of March.
18th of March.
Yeah.
Good plan. Good
Yeah.
plan.
It'll work.
So then it's PRs behind it already anyway, and then from there it'll just be a case of get it as hyped
Yeah.
as possible before we do the official release, get it in the shops, all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. So
Because Massive Wagons have just, they've signed with, who they signed with?
Erec.
Yeah. So are they not with RPM anymore? They've got left them.
Yeah, they're managed by RPM, but their
Okay.
label
Yeah.
is Erec.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So they got signed up by Erec, but Terry still looks after them.
Ah, okay, right.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you start talking to them?
To who?
To Terry for RPM?
Well, obviously I got asked to drum for Wagons.
Oh, right, yeah.
So basically, I mean, I've done more Wagons shows this year than I've done Falling Red shows.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
we've been
until
doing
this
the
tour.
album, haven't we?
Until
yeah.
the tour, I
Yeah,
suppose.
we've
You
been doing
haven't.
the I have. We've only played like 3 or 4 Falling Red shows this year, and I've done about 8, 10 shows with Wagons.
3 or 4, have we?
Yeah.
You did...
Hard Rock Hell,
Yeah.
Redemption,
No,
Last Night,
Hell's Fest.
Hell's Fest,
That's 4. And
Wales.
Wales, what was in Wales?
7 Sins.
7 Sins.
And the
one
one you...
before that.
And Breaking Bands with us.
Breaking Bands. And
Breaking
the one before
Bands.
that.
What was that?
The one in Torbridge, or whatever it's bloody called.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
7.
There you go. 7.
Well, I did 6 in a month with Wagons.
There you go. See? So you didn't.
That's good going, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good going.
Something to do, isn't it?
I like to keep myself
Was it
busy.
good?
Yeah, it's cracking. But no, we'd known Terry for years from doing Hard Rock Hell. I mean, she used to always set us up with Hard Rock Hell when we turned up and always look after us.
Yeah.
So we already knew her and we got talking to her. And then basically just while I was out and about, it was, have a listen to that, see what you think. And she really liked it. So we got talking, said what we wanted to do with the new album. She put a pitch together to us to say, this is what we can do and this is
Right.
what I've got to work with.
Yeah.
And it was everything we needed.
I was going to say, because
really.
you guys have, obviously been on your own for a while, haven't you? For a
Well,
few years now.
Been on our own
Yeah.
for 4
So
years.
I just wondered what it was that made you decide to not go on your own anymore.
Work.
Yeah.
Just being busy with life and work, it gets in the way. It was the big thing for me was obviously when we were working with Raz looked after most of everything, you
Yeah.
know what I mean, outside the band. So it meant we could just get on and
Concentrate
do
on
what
being
we
in the
did on
band.
day,
Yeah.
and day jobs, stuff like
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave was doing a lot, but, when you're a road sweep, it takes a hell of a lot of hours out of... But, and like with me, like teaching and stuff in schools and things, it just gets really difficult to find the time.
Yeah. So, for
And-
people that don't know, what is it you do outside of the band?
Outside of the
You teach
band,
guitar and that?
yeah, full-time teaching guitar and repairing guitars, and working in the evenings as well.
Keeps you
And
busy.
then Dave sweeping roads.
Can I just clarify, I'm not a road sweeper. I work in the car industry.
Yeah, you do, which comes in handy.
Yeah.
Sweeping
times.
tyres.
Well, it does until your van dies and you can't get it fixed.
But you must have been able to sort a few things out.
Yeah, yeah.
Save the balance
Well,
bacon a few
I was
times.
yeah, exactly. And for this tour, we're getting the rental and stuff like that through other car firms. You know, you get looked after for when you're in the trade. You can do that. I'm in the trade.
So what have you done in the past
Sorted
to save the day?
Well, the engine blew up on the van, and we got it rebuilt by the lads at my work in a very short amount of time and stuff like that, and just general repairs.
Yeah.
And generally how I tend to do it is I give them notice the day before I'm going somewhere and go, by the way, the gearbox needs to come out of it and a new clutch go in. All right, cool, when do you need it for? Well, I actually go to Belgium in the morning, so if you could do that.
Get it sorted quick.
The amount of times we've gone on tour, and I'll send these lot of picture like the night before, going, here's what the van looks like, and it's got no front end on it, you know. But no, to be fair, I've got some good guys at work who will literally just jump on it, and I think they work better under pressure.
All right.
Yeah, to be honest, I've got like
That's good.
2 or 3 lads I can rely on who will jump on and do
Pull
it.
it out of the bag.
Yeah.
When you need it.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it is handy.
Yeah.
And it saves us a lot of money as well, because if it wasn't in the
God.
trade and we're having to pay full garage
price for
fees
all
all the
that,
time,
yeah.
it would cripple us. Like
You still got the same van?
we did.
All right.
It's burnt out cylinder 3 now, running on pure diesel, and we can't fix it.
Oh,
So
it's seen you through some miles and
it's
times,
got
hasn't it?
205,000 mile on it. Like it's
Wow.
took us around Europe and Scandinavia
Yeah.
about 5 to 6 times. So it's done well for what it cost us.
Yeah, you got your money's worth out of it.
Oh yeah, we'd had our money's worth out of it in like the first 12 months we had it. You know, so to get, I think when did we get it? 2011.
Right.
You know, when we first picked up the van. So to get 6 years out of it and go all over Europe,
Yeah.
Scandinavia,
Not really
and
have
the
any
UK.
major problems.
No, we
with it.
haven't.
Yeah.
You know,
So it's been
unless you
alright.
class the engine blown up as major. You know.
So the album Lost Souls, where did you record it at?
It was the drums were recorded at Blast Studios.
That's what I was going to ask.
And
Yeah,
then
in Newcastle.
All the guitars, vocals were recorded in York.
What was the decision behind that then? How come you
What
didn't
was it
at
called?
the same place?
Stimphilian?
Black Stimphalian Productions.
Yeah,
it is.
Stimphalian Productions, yeah.
So basically, I don't know. There was
Have you done that before? Had them separate?
no. What we always did was obviously we went to Matt,
Yeah.
same as you guys. You know,
Yeah.
went to Access Studios, did a phenomenal job for us. He did Shake the Faith, he did Hasta, and then he
Yeah.
did Empire,
Yeah.
and they all sounded great.
Mm-hmm.
But going into this, we thought we're writing differently.
You want like a fresh sound?
Do we want a different approach to the sound as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah.
You know, we know what we get from Matt, so as a fallback, we always knew, you know, if we couldn't get what we wanted elsewhere, we knew we could go to, you know, we could go to Matt.
Yeah.
But instead, we went, do you know, we want to be a little bit more hands-on, because you know how Matt works. Matt's he gets in there
Yeah.
and he rips it apart and he puts it
Yeah.
back together, and then you go, wow, that is awesome. You know, because you're from doing the Dynamo records,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you know how it works.
So we went with James, didn't we? Who
Yeah.
basically doesn't listen or deal
put
with
your
any
mic
sort
quite
of
close to
music
you.
like us.
You put your mic a bit. Just move it closer to you.
Is that better?
Yeah, I'll pull it closer to you.
Do you like it close? Is that is working?
That's better.
Yeah, so basically we just went with James, who's never dealt with a band like us before.
Yeah.
So he's got no idea, no preconceived ideas in his head. So we just went in, recorded what we wanted to do,
Yeah.
and left him with it, really.
Sometimes fresh ears was a good. Sometimes what you
Fantastic.
need, isn't it?
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
fresh
a metaler
approach.
at heart.
Yeah.
He's into black metal, death metal,
Yeah.
all that. And it was only because we'd heard him he'd done like a cover of a Testament song.
Right.
And we heard it, and we heard the production. And Danny, our guitarist at the time, had said, by the way, this guy's really good. He used to be in a band, Fallen Fate, years ago. Check
Right.
him out. And we heard this cover. Mikey sent it through, not knowing that the cover was the same guy he'd mentioned.
Right.
So Mikey sent it through going, God, this guy's good. And we were like, oh, that's him. So we just got
Yeah.
talking and then went down. I mean, to be fair, I don't know if you've listened to the album yet, but
Just briefly, not
just
not
to
fully.
hear from that guy just works from home.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, he like literally works
That's
from
really
home.
good.
We literally recorded that album in his bedroom. He's got, don't get me wrong, it's a full studio rig, the full soundproofing and everything, but literally it's his bedroom
Wow.
in his
And
house
then the spare bedroom for singing.
for vocals.
Ah,
Yeah,
right.
Because if we sang in that bedroom, it would piss the neighbours off.
Fair enough. But would with his singing.
Yes. That's not just the volume of it,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the sound of it.
Oh yeah, the harmonies I was hitting.
So is that why they didn't cater for drums though? So
He could have done. He could have went in the studio and produced the drums, but
right.
I just asked about where people record in the past, and they said Blast, and we obviously got speaking of Marc Broughton there, and I mean I think he's in Ibiza recording with someone from Duran or someone at the moment, and he's recorded some of like Take That stuff and that, and we just went in with him, and he nailed it. He was a great guy, dead easy to deal with. The studio, such a nice studio.
How long did it take?
We did 2 days of drums.
Did you both go?
I went for the second time round. Second time round was the best because we got to bash the shit out of metal things and metal pipes.
For all the sound effects on the album, it was, if you listen to Hell in My Eyes on there, you hear some high-pitched pinging and banging and trashing in the background. They're like brush shanks against roller shutters and stuff with just microphones in the car park in the rain, smacking stuff.
So anybody walking by just like, oh Christ, what are those two knobheads doing?
Just gates and railings and bloody all sorts.
Which song was it? Listen to, there's one called, I can't remember which one it was. It's got you got a lot of double foot pedal in it.
Maybe the third song, Digital Disguise.
Yeah,
the one that sounds like Slipknot when it starts.
Yeah, we basically, because Dave can't do double pedal, we just did one hit and we just doubled it.
Pro Tools, copy paste. Got like one hit.
All I did it on a snare drum, and then they sampled a bass drum over the top of it.
I was like, you went.
And live, it's just on track.
Of course, I can tell.
Can I just have all the kick drums on track, please, and I just have to do the hands.
So have you changed the logo slightly then? That's different to how it's been
We've still got the logo, obviously, on the disc.
I don't think you should ever lose that.
No, we won't. We won't. That was that'll stick with us now, and the amount of people who've got it tattooed on, it'd be quite harsh of us to then go and change it.
It's as iconic as AC/DC's Lightning Bolt.
Of course it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Even better than it.
Yeah.
But no, it basically we did work with the logo. We had the square writing and all that, but on the artwork, it just didn't sit. It didn't look great. Right. So because obviously we've got the horde going into hell and coming out of hell on the artwork, and the zombies, and we're all zombied up inside. It didn't
have
work.
the rough edges around it to make it fit.
Yeah.
Right. What is the concept of the album then?
Well, basically, it's because obviously we've got the song called The Day I Lost My Soul. So we literally found an artist in Edinburgh, Danny McMahon, and he had all his artwork up in Bannerman's. He's a painter.
Right.
That's what he does. He's a painter. I don't know if he does a lot of this sort of stuff, but he paints. And he paints amazing portraits and stuff like that. And Mikey says, we should try this guy. So we literally sent him the concept, and we didn't actually give him anything to go at. We just said, here's the album, here's the songs, or like the rough demos, and here's the lyrics. We're thinking Lost Souls. Sent it to him, and he did the rest.
Right. I mean, we had no conception of anything we were writing.
Do you do all the lyrics?
Going into it, probably
12% of them.
12% my ass. No, I'd say a good 90. Then Dave corrects me and goes,
I'll make them fit.
That'll be better here. That'll be better. We'll take that word out there.
Is that the way it's always been, though?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just kind of like just sit there and write it together, like. And I mean, Dave's come up with like verses after I've done like a verse, or like for Alive, Dave did the first verse, I did the second verse,
right,
and then came up with other bits. Like Hell in My Eyes was virtually wrote out, and then we tweaked it and stuff like that. So it's all like a big, writing together and that. But no, we just wrote songs that we wanted to do. Like I said to you a while back when we were writing it, we're just doing what we want.
Are you always writing lyrics to music once you've written a song?
Not
or do you ever
always.
come up with like lyrics, like a theme on its own?
Sometimes he's got books full of lyrics where he's just wrote them down.
I'd wrote down the lyrics to Haunted, the chorus. Basically, I'd wrote down and had the idea of the riff would follow the haunted, so it'd be a guitar riff going dun dun dun.
Okay, yeah.
And he was doing the drums, and I was writing that song in the drum studio while he was doing the tracks to the other songs.
That was literally written and recorded in about 20 minutes.
Right.
That song, from being nothing to being...
It's a good one, that happens.
Being the song.
So basically that song was just done in that sort of space of time, and I was just writing out the chords in between doing the ghost guitar tracks while he was drumming.
Right.
And while the other guy was editing it and mixing it all up and stuff like that.
Pasting the double bass.
Pasting the double bass. Even the snare hits. Basically, that's how that track came about, just from that there. So that was just that spontaneous thing there, and then went back and wrote the words just kind of afterwards.
Yeah. So you two always been the main songwriters?
Yeah. It's just what we've right through Empire. We love, the more input the better for us.
Yeah.
but we spend the most time sitting there
going through
doing
it.
it. Obviously, Shane came in at the kind of towards the end of the writing process on this new album, but he still had a big input on some of the songs, because he'd come in and go, well, maybe do that different and do this different and maybe put that there, and maybe the way we play stuff. And Mikey, again, when we were spending time, it's always hard with like our shifts at work and stuff, because Mikey works a lot of nights and that, so to get us all to get together. And same with Mikey, he'd come and he'd be like, oh, I've thought of this, or I've done this. He'd send through like a
it was usually
sample.
shit, but you know.
1 out of 10 might be alright.
We just humour him. We're like,
Nah, it was good.
one day he'll realise he's just a bass player. Don't send that through to me.
Nah, it was but I mean, we've all had a good input on everything that we've been doing and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, like Hell in My Eyes, I had the words wrote out again for the chorus,
Right.
and then just did I was just strumming on the guitar, then singing chords to like the words. And then just that chord fits that melody line, and just built it up from there. And then we just decided to have it really bass driven from the start and during the verses.
Yeah,
just keep just bass and drums, something different.
The way, I mean, if you look, to be honest, even if you look back to how we wrote Empire and how we've done the new album, literally most of it was written with him with an amp this big in the living room and a guitar or an acoustic, and me drumming on a book. Not actually playing any drums.
Yeah.
So
like getting the rhythm.
Like literally just keeping pace some of the time was just to get it, and then that's how we'd write most of the songs.
Just Biro drumsticks.
Just exactly. No, like
recording on your phone or something.
Yeah, like legit. Most of them, his phone and my phone, you just like need memory left on them.
Jam-packed full of songs and ideas. Yeah. But no. I mean, we just, as you say, we just sit there just writing what the hell we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Just
rather than writing with
a
theme.
Yeah, and then that's why, I mean, when I first wrote My Town, My City, came to Dave's house, said, listen to this, you'll love it. And he's just like, no, I can't have that on the album.
It's not that I didn't love it. Not that I didn't love it, but my words were, you can fuck off thinking that'll ever get on a Falling Red album, I think was the way I worded it to him.
Yeah, and then the next thing you know,
about 4 weeks later, I was still walking around going,
yeah, and I had the same thing. When you first put
it up,
now. I listened to it and I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. And then I forgot about it. And then the next day I'm going, what's that? What am I singing? It's good though.
And then eventually I just went, right, you win. Let's write it.
I mean, the best thing was like the lead piano part on My Town, My City after the first chorus.
Yeah.
That wasn't put on until, is it a week?
A week before it went out of production, like
out of mixing and production, mastering it into getting made.
Yeah.
Is that because you thought of it afterwards?
No. We would always want to, but we couldn't find anybody to do blues honky tonk solo.
Ah, right.
So I think we got a guy out West Coast way,
right,
who recorded it in his house, and then he sent that to James in the studio, and then he laid that over the top, and it was like that was that one little missing bit for that song that we wanted to just give it that little bit of sparkle.
I mean, we knew from the start it's going to be the Marmite song. Like you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. You're going to either hear that.
Even if you hate it, it still gets stuck in your head.
We took a massive chance with that because we came off the back of We Escaped a Cult, We Are Reckless, stuff all like that. Yeah. You know, the heavier stuff. To then
was
go.
Was that the first thing that you put out?
First song that came off that, and we just turned around and went, do you know what?
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Yeah, pretty much it was.
That's it. We're doing what we want.
People are going to love it or hate it.
Because I mean, the thing is, like, we always try and do stuff different.
Yeah.
From every album that we've ever done, we never set like kept to a template or a blueprint. We've just experimented and tried stuff. There was stuff that we've done in the studio that it was just a bit too wacky, wasn't it? That didn't kind of fit with the flow of what we were doing.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of like, no, we've tried it didn't really work, and then
But if you don't try them, that's the thing, because we could have laid something down and just like blown ourselves away. But there was there was bits that we tried laying down, trying putting in, and then you realise then it's what you leave out that can sometimes make a song. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Sometimes we were trying to put a little bit too much in.
Yeah.
But I think the overall product, when I listen to them side by side with other recordings we've done. I think it is a huge step up for us in the writing, the lyrical content, the production of the album, everything. It's just
definitely sounds
very proud of it.
It's fresh if you compare it to like
this
what
guy.
You're saying.
This guy here, he was like telling me how to sing in the shoot. He's like going
singing tips.
No, you could do that better. I want it higher.
He was the producer then, was he?
Yeah, and I'm going. I can't go that high. Dave's like going, do it. He's like pushing me, and I'm there, and I'm going, oh my God.
I thought you would just smack me after like 3 days of doing vocals.
And he's like going, nah, I need more power and that. Just really go for it. And then it's like I'd hit it, and he goes, there you go, I got you mad enough to do it.
Yeah, just getting pissed off and it works.
Oh. But no, I was layering
for me,
many octaves of different vocal layers.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like coming in like lows, mids, highs, really high, falsettos and stuff like that. And
I know it's like the brief listen to. There's a lot of chorus in it, like doubling it and tripling vocal. And that sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing for me was, obviously, I've played in a band with him for 12 years.
Yeah.
I know what he's used to. I know where his comfort zone is.
You want to get him out of that,
and it was about pulling him out of that because obviously I know he can snarl and sing old school and whatever. But when he was singing, he was putting like the rosy twist on it all. And in some songs, it was the way I thought about it was I didn't want him to come out the studio and kick himself when he heard it finally and go, do you know what, I could have done that better or anything. So I just pushed him to the point of trying to make him snap at me. But
well, at least you know
and he still texted me like 2 weeks later and thanked me for doing it. He texted me.
Is that the third thank you've had in 12 years?
Yeah. That was only after I'd heard the finished results, though. I had to hear the finished results.
He texted me and it was a massive thank you off him to say thank you for pushing me in the studio. And I says, well, it's just because I didn't want you to be disappointed, and I knew the whole time you could do better.
But if he looks back at the text and he reads down the side of it, it spells out utter cunt. He still hasn't figured it out.
Got you.
And now it's great to watch him because he has to perform them live.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So in the studio, he had the time to do it, and then when I go, let's just drop that really difficult one in 8 songs into the set. That'll be really good for you, mate.
It's like,
and he nails it, so it's all right.
It's like these lot are all at a wedding party on the Friday night, and he goes, yeah, we'll add an extra song into the set. And then on the night, on the brick, when we're playing, and I goes, I forgot to put a song in the set list that we've been rehearsing.
Not one of us had spotted it was missing.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been there, done that.
So how many songs in total? Was it 16 songs we played?
Something like that, yeah. But I mean, what had happened was, last couple of times we played the Brickyard, because we're playing with great friends in bands, so we're great pals with Farquhar. Fragile Things, obviously they couldn't turn up for health reasons. But last time we played with the Burning Crows, and because we tour with them, and we're great with the guys, and they're great with us. We always like to do that kind of little finale song. So last time we did "Lick It Up" by Kiss with the Burning Crows. This time it was a Whole Lot of Rosie.
Yep.
So we've been discussing for weeks what song we were going to do. And I'd do all the talking to the other bands. So I spoke to Matt and says, "You know Whole Lot of Rosie?" I was thinking, we've played it years ago. We haven't played it for years. And he goes, "Yeah, great, I know the lyrics." That was the Monday.
Right.
Friday night, I remembered I hadn't told these lot that we were doing it. So I texted them and went, "Oh, just a quick one. Do you guys know Whole Lot of Rosie?" I meant to mention it a few days ago. And they were all like, "Oh, we'll listen to the CD on the Saturday morning, before we go in." We'd played it years ago. He all came back. But Mikey had never played it before in his life.
And we changed the structure of the song.
And then we changed the structure from the CD. And so Shane's just messaging him, just going, "Remember, it's just Akka Daka." And I'm like, well, that makes note to me. I hit pots and pans, but but we nailed it on the night.
It was good. It was really good.
And Matt's vocals were absolutely awesome as well. So because he's
got a good voice,
vocalist.
really good voice.
But then the fun begins in February for Rockmantic, because we haven't played anything hardly off Shake the Faith for 6 years?
6 years, and we've decided to do Shake the Faith in its entirety.
All right,
because it'll be 8-year-old next year because we released it in 2010.
Was it?
Yeah, so that's flown in.
Yeah,
and so we said as part of it, because we were doing the Brickyard show.
And I don't think any of the bands we actually did the album launch with are still going, are they?
No,
I
don't think they are.
Dead.
I do that sometimes when the posters come back up. I say, they're still going. Yeah. They're not.
It's the Falling Red curse. Anyone we play with splits up.
It's like, give it a couple of years.
I can see the downward spiral starting now. They've played with us.
It's all going to go to shit.
But, no. So, what year? When was your first gig? What year was Falling Red's first gig?
With me.
Yeah. Oh, were you both in the original lineup?
Falling Red was about just before I joined. I played the album launch of the first ever Falling Red CD back in 2005.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've been in since day one, though.
Yeah, but
And
we
Shane.
really put in Shane.
Shane,
But we
right,
really didn't sort of hit going until like 2009.
Right.
Basically, we spent from 2005 to 2009 playing 10 gigs a year, 20 gigs a year, if that. And most of them were
Just wherever, whenever.
work it in Carlisle, Penrith, work it in Carlisle, Penrith, maybe go outside Glasgow, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, we signed with Raz.
Yeah.
And Raz came in with the attitude of, I'm not saying no to any gigs, get yourself out there and make a name for yourself.
Yeah. It sounds a bit daunting, doesn't it, when someone says that? But
It is when you think that in 2009 he booked us for 150 gigs, which is like a gig every 3 days.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the same in 2010. So,
Yeah.
you know, Rosie got made redundant, Shane lost his job,
Yeah.
I had to hand my notice in at work because literally there was no one to cover us.
yeah.
Obviously, it all fell into place after that, and now we get to do sort of bigger, better gigs less often. But if we didn't go out and do them gigs,
You've got to put that in at the beginning, haven't you?
a Wednesday night in Horncastle in
Oh,
the back
God.
of Lincolnshire and with 2 people knitting at the front, bear in mind, and that is
It
true
was
story,
amazing, that was amazing,
with
that
their
one.
dog.
And then the woman coming to the noise meter telling you to turn your drums down.
Aye, can you turn your drums down, please, while she's walking around with the decibel meter in the bar?
Oh, God.
You know, but if you didn't do them, you wouldn't have the stories. You know, it's probably a shame for some bands now because they seem to get to a higher stage quicker.
Oh, I just
a lot of
remembered
it
that
comes
was
down to money.
That was the place Shane took a piss in the plant pot outside the venue, wasn't it? And
While
then
the
he-
owners stood looking
While
at
the
him.
owners stood looking at him, and then the
Did you get booked there again?
no. Basically, Shane was going to be thrown out, so he couldn't play the gig, and they were saying he wasn't allowed back in the pub.
Until we explained who he was. We were like, you do know he's in the band, though, eh?
But
no,
it would
that's-
have
I know
been
what you're
better,
saying
actually.
about young bands, though, yeah.
But you know what I
Seem to
mean?
get
Like now,
there.
when you look and you see these bands, and a lot of it probably comes down to money because you can buy yourself quite far in this the industry. As you know, everything comes down to money. You ain't got any money, that generally you're not going to get very far very fast. You know what I mean? And a lot of them won't have the stories and the you know the crashing in the van, crashing on floors, crashing in bars on the floor and stuff like that.
Waking
on
up to
sofas.
frost on your sleeping bag inside the van.
Wing mirrors turned the other way around because wagons have gone past in the night and stuff.
Yeah.
And to me, they were some of the best times. I mean, now we stay in hotels and stuff like that, and we have the more comfortable. I think it's because of our age. We couldn't probably sleep in the van, you know. But all the cold will get to Rose's knees. So,
Damn
Joint
right
pain.
it does.
but no, like they were the stories, some of the best times.
Yeah,
You know,
I also think some of the younger bands don't want to do that.
They don't.
They just kind of want to just get.
I think they see their heroes and they go, well,
Yeah.
I want to be there overnight.
Well, they haven't realised what they have to go through to get
No,
where they are.
They don't realise how many gigs and
The
you
time
know,
and the money and
and where you go
there's
for
a lot
nothing.
there's a lot of places though that aren't around anymore
Yeah.
to do gigs.
well, there's that as well.
It's like the opening band from last night. That was their first gig.
What I don't know the story. What's happened? I know they didn't play. I don't know why. What
No,
happened?
the first band
The first
played.
band.
Fragile Things didn't
Yeah,
play.
right.
Because
Yeah, what we've-
Richie the
what we've
singer's
become.
really ill.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
right.
so he's had to cancel a couple of gigs over the last few weeks. But they let us know on Thursday, I think it was,
'Cause,
that he probably couldn't make it. So.
I mean, I've always tried to get a local band at any Brickyard gig we've done
Yeah.
to open up.
Yeah.
Because like I remember when we were starting out, you know, we had the same sort of thing. We were given opening slots to kind of establish yourself, and there's not many places in Carlisle or even Penrith to kind of get yourself, you know, on the to cut your teeth in the music playing. And
Yeah, because like a Brickyard's like it's a pretty high for your first gig.
yeah,
It's like, whoa.
exactly. so I mean, it's kind of one of those where we just kind of said, right, well, here's your opportunity, and they did an awesome job.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for the first gig.
They played well, they promoted it well, they
Yeah.
sold tickets, you know. We couldn't ask any more of them,
Well, that's why. Like,
really. That's
so
why
like-
we've
like-
tried to look after them on the night, you know, with the rider and paying them and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It was kind of, you know, you've done your bit, so therefore we'll do ours, you know what I mean?
It's nice to not like if you offer a young band to open up and they don't. There's no pressure to sell tickets.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't, you just show up and play and just
Yeah,
do
that's
what
it.
you
But
do
they did.
Yeah.
They did. They went.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they went above and beyond. I mean, to be honest, if you think back to your first gigs, how many gigs did you walk to and get a rider and get paid and all that on your first gig? You know, that sort of thing. You know,
Yeah.
there's some bands now that you speak to who some people see that, you know, they are in the scene, quite big names in the
Yeah.
scene, and even now they probably don't get
No.
everything they want at gigs.
No,
You know what I mean?
no.
So the fact that they came along, did their bit, it was the least we could do for them, and they put on a great show as well.
Yeah.
You know, for a young up and coming band, metalcore band, they did a cracking job, a
Yeah.
really good job.
So what Has it always been Falling Red? Was there ever another name before that? Has it always been the name since day one?
I wasn't in the band before that. They had a really good name.
We had other band names. The first one we had, well, it was just me and Shane and a couple of other guys, but totally different stuff. It was called Waste of Space.
Was that a description of the band?
Waste of time, it should have been.
No, but I remember when we did start out and we were playing over at Whitehaven, there was a drunk old guy at the bar and went, "Lads, your name's fucking right." that made us laugh, so we were just kind of like, "Oh well, never mind." And then we changed another one to like called the Dark Heart Boys.
Right.
and then after that, we just kind of thought, "Oh, we'll change the name again." Then we just
Where did Falling Red come from?
Being pissed
up in a pub. We just basically put a load of like words in a hat.
Really?
It's better than when we used to try and come up with a really good description for where we got the name from, and
yeah, we did. Yeah,
because this is the legit
we
way
just
we
went
got
like
real.
that, picked it out, one was falling, and then went red, and we just went, "That's kind of all right." We were stuck with that.
Not that it's easy to merchandise, like it means now.
Does any band name really mean that?
Well, no, but sometimes it's a bit easier, depending on the band name, to merchandise it.
Oh, you've done all right in merchandise
No,
over
we
the
have.
years.
We have
Right,
done
yeah.
good.
You did well last night.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, no, I thought it was cool. But no, it's just one of those sort of things. Like, I mean, where we've been going since that time, in different sort of little mini starter bands were and stuff.
Yeah.
And then eventually you get the right sort of members and everything kind of just takes a massive leap.
Yeah. So how did Shane come back into the band? How did that come about?
Well, we were looking for.
It was a
we were
joke that
kind of-
backfired.
We were kind of looking for like another guitar player, and we had people down as ideas to ask, and then Dave says, "Oh, let's ask Shane, see if he fancies
As
it."
a joke, by the way,
And
and
so-
he knows this.
So I messaged him,
Because he went into hibernation.
Yeah.
and because we've always been in touch with Shane and still hung out and that, and
Yeah.
went around each other's houses and stuff, and I said to him, "Do you fancy doing guitar at Hard Rock Hill
It's supposed to be for one gig.
festival?" And he went, "Yeah, all right, and so
It's not a bad gig to come back to for one.
No. we sent him the songs and that, and then he basically got to the rehearsal, and it was like an hour after getting back home from rehearsal, wasn't it?
Mm.
He just texted us all and said, "I love that. It was like I've never been away. I'd like to come back in full time." We were just like, "Awesome."
But basically, he just messaged and says, "I can do all the dates. None of them are a problem. I can book them off work tomorrow. I can do it." So I mean, from me, it was like kind of a jokey,
throwaway-
passive
it's a
state.
throwaway
Yeah, it was
comment,
kind of. I thought he was going to turn around and just go, "No." Because to be fair, Shane never wanted to leave the band.
Right.
The only reason Shane had to leave the band was because of work. Because when I'm saying
Yeah,
people
yeah.
lost jobs and that,
Yeah.
Shane lost his job and was unemployed for like 12 months.
So to have to do that again.
And then he got a job.
Yeah.
And he basically went, "I'm not putting myself in that position again. I've had the hardest 12 months." So we totally understood. And he left the band at Hard Rock Hell 2011.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when we were sitting, and I mean, Danny left the band in
As fate would have it.
October, November. See, like October, November time, Danny left. And we'd kind of gone in from there to say, right, we'll just record the album, the three of us. We'll make the album happen, then we'll worry about a guitarist.
Right.
But, like I say, we were talking, Hard Rock Hell came up, we had Stevie Pierce said he would cover for us, the guys from the Burning Crows would have covered for us,
Yeah.
Wagons, stuff like that. The amount of people who would come forward and said, "If you need a backup guitarist, I will quite happily come and play." So we had a choice.
Yeah.
But then we were talking, and we were like, training someone for each individual gig, it's going to be pain.
Yeah.
And that's when I said, "Hey, we should ask Shane." 5 minutes later, he texted us, "He's in." I'm like, "All right, okay."
Straight away, the answer was like, "Yep, I'll do it."
But honestly, he walked in the studio, he'd kept all his old gear, everything. He walked in, he had the Marshall amp, the SG, everything, and it was like he'd never been away.
It did look like that last night.
It was great. It's like he never left. Last night, it just clicked.
And the best thing was, like, I mean, he's known Mikey since we first started touring anyway, because Mikey was in bands that supported us.
What bands was he in?
Black Cherokee, one of them was called.
White
White Trash
Trash
Circus.
Circus, yeah, that
He
was
in White
it.
Trash Circus up
Yeah,
in Edinburgh.
and then he's been to our gigs in Edinburgh and gigs at the Brickyard before.
Yeah.
And Shane's known him for that long as well, so there was no kind of
There was no introduction needed.
type of thing. It's just like, oh, Mikey, how you doing? Oh, I'm all right, Shane, how are you?
It was fate then. It was meant to be.
And now it's great. It works. We feel re-energized by the fact he's back. We've got new songs. It's just a good place to be. It just fits. There's a good vibe around the band at the moment.
Having fun last night.
Oh,
It's always fun at Carlisle Brickyard.
It's always fun wherever we go. But after 2.5 years of not playing our hometown, it was nice to come back with Shane. So it was a big gig. It was nice.
The only thing about that type like gig is like after it, you're trying to get around to say hi to everybody and thanks for coming. I didn't even get to say hi to my auntie and uncle.
You have to message people, say sorry, I just
yeah. I know they were there.
Yeah.
And then other people that I know that had turned up and things, and some other people had travelled from like Edinburgh that I know as well, and I didn't get a chance to sort of say hi to them.
Well, it's like when you go to the merch and all that's going on. Some people are waiting to talk to you. They've already bought the merch, but they're just like, all right, see you later.
Yeah.
But it's
where
just
people,
the way it is,
I think the furthest afield someone came from was Portsmouth.
That's good.
It's a hell of a journey. Yeah. And they came up for the last Brickyard show, and they appear around the country every now and then. But driving all the way from Portsmouth just to come and watch us launch our album. And
it's good as well, because there's a lot of local people that go to the gig as well, which is really good to see all the local faces. Yeah. And you can kind of pick them out in the crowd, and and everyone's waving and smiling, and you got all the new fans. I mean, there's a lot of new faces there.
There was a lot of people I didn't recognise last night.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
It is.
It was. Yeah.
Lots of
I mean,
I was just like,
they probably heard My Town, My City and went, "Oh, I like this band." Then we opened with Lost My Soul and went, "What the hell have we come to here?"
What is this? And then at the end of
all the mums and dads in the crowd going, "Oh, we love My Town, My City."
Mums and dads.
It's the new anthem.
That's the only reason my mum and dad were there.
So have you got plans for any other videos for the other songs?
Yeah, it's all panned out with Terry and that. So. Yeah, we're going to do probably another 2 or 3.
Before the actual album comes out?
There'll be another one before the album comes out.
Right.
The one that comes out with the album, and there'll be one once it's out.
Right.
So there'll be 4 altogether.
That's good.
Can't tell you what they are, though.
Of course.
I will, though.
It's the intro.
Yeah. That's the intro. For that.
That's the intro. We're on a budget.
What is the intro? Where did it come from?
It was...
it was me. I'd wrote the poem out for it,
right?
And came up with the guitar chords to kind of play over it and give it this sort of feel of like a story being told.
Who's the voice? Is it you?
Yeah. Being all American.
I was like, I kind of recognise the voice, but
it was good because I got to punch him in the throat to make his voice sound different. I went, Dave, and he went, what? And turned on, and he went, oh.
Well, basically, I didn't want him to do the voice because I thought it's not going to sound like
Rosie.
a proper
That's
intro. Yeah, so a whole lot of Rosie. I didn't want him to do the spoken intro to then come in and sing on every song. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I wanted to be standing away. So I just says, well, I can give it a go. And he just gave me the bit of paper with all the words on, and then I didn't know how long it was or anything. So it took about 6 attempts to make the lyrics match in with how long it was.
And the best thing about the intro as well, right, was... it's got like the classical guitar on there doing the bit there. We were thinking, we need a classical guitar, but we didn't have one there. And we were in York, so I had to go to the bastard music shop and buy one for 80 quid for that
1 minute
tiny
of song.
1 minute. I was like, that's probably like one of the most expensive few
I'd have kept the
guitar
receipt
notes
and took it back the next day.
ever. It's all right, I use it now.
Yeah.
That'll be on the next album, the classical Fall in Red.
But that's what it was. It just, he'd wrote it all down. He'd wrote a guitar part for it. Mikey, like a year ago or more, had sent us a video of him playing an acoustic guitar in his bedroom, and we liked the riff, the melody, and then we put the melody together with Roze.
So I just played the guitar chords that I just ringing out like that, and then Mikey plays the lead bit on the classical.
The right. So that's how it came together, and then it worked because we wanted it to. We had this idea of almost like a cowboy song sort of thing, because that's why the crackling's over and stuff. Yeah. It's almost like being around a campfire telling a story to then lead you into the day I lost my soul. That's
cool. That's really good.
So it's kind of like talking about the song before the song kicks in.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be someone telling the story of the day they lost their soul.
Right.
And then it kicks in.
Reflecting on their actions.
That's cool. So
deep.
The pledge that you did, what were some of the things that people could get?
Guitars. They went within like a week.
Some of your, was it some of
Well, he's
your
endorsed by
guitars?
Vintage, so
Oh,
basically he got 3 guitars and used them in the studio. So, you know, a couple of electrics and acoustic. And we pledged them off. Cymbals.
Yeah, we used them in the
drumsticks.
studio, and I think I used I used them for like 1 gig, and then Dave's like, "What if they get wrecked?" And I goes, "Be alright, you know, they're used, so it looks authentic." And I was looking, I was like, "Oh yeah, that one, that's got a ding in it now." I was like,
Plus
but
it gives a
it's
bit of
like
meaning to it.
it's like, but it's all been used and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's you'd rather have a used guitar than something that's been out of a box.
It's been used on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's been used on the album and stuff.
It made
That's
sense.
the selling point, isn't it? There.
Well, that's it. We didn't want to just go, he's endorsed by Vintage, so I
It's
have a brand new guitar
isn't it? Yeah,
that
it's
means
not-
nothing
I mean,
to the band.
that
or
is
anything.
quite. Some
Yeah,
people
it is.
want
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but it's not as cool. Is it?
Yeah, and then we've done like custom jackets again. There was t-shirts as well. Then there's like lyric sheets, drum cymbals, sticks.
Skins.
So sometimes it's quite important or difficult to think of cool things.
It
to
is.
give
Yeah, I did like USB sticks where people could pick. How many songs was there? 3?
I think it's 5 acoustic tracks, and then we'll put the album on there and the
That's a
artwork
good
and
idea.
everything. So we haven't recorded the tracks yet, but we need to get in touch with them because we'll record whatever songs they want.
From your entire back
So
catalogue.
from the back catalogue,
Yeah.
so they might
good.
come and pick 5 songs off Empire, or they
Yeah,
might
yeah.
work. They might just want all the ballady ones we've ever done, or something, you know.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to
So
get
we've gotta do
all of
all
them
that.
together, go in one day and record them all,
Yeah.
and then split them per USB stick, and we'll do like custom artwork on the stick and stuff. So,
like a big cock drawn on it or something.
but I think it is. It's hard to think of things that. It's hard to be original as well, you know.
Yeah.
One of
Well,
the
it needs
be-
to be something that's going to mean something to the fans as well, isn't
Well,
it?
that's it. One of the best pledges I saw at Round over the last years, probably the Idle Dead one. I mean, they had just loads in their pledge, and that,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and they were fantastic. Yes,
What's going on?
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yes.
you put that there.
There.
There we go.
That's better.
I can do even better.
Oh, there we go.
Product placement.
But no, yeah, I mean, the Idle Dead, they had some great products in theirs. I even think they did Idle Dead custom butt plugs. They did, and on the end of the butt plug, it's got the Eric Idle logo and everything on the butt plug.
I'd also heard they tested them as well before they sent them out.
You know, like we thought it was more authentic to use the guitars before
Yeah.
they went out. We thought it meant more if they all had a go with it before it went out. Yeah, just put it in a polythene bag.
Came with a disclaimer saying ignore the crust.
Oh man.
There's always one. It's
Yeah,
usually
but no, it was. They had some good shit, some really cool stuff out there.
yeah.
So
Cool. So what the pledge as well is do you using it just to pay for the recording, or have you got other plans for the money that you've raised? Is it just to cover the album?
it
Or?
doesn't even cover the album. I don't think. No, we just.
It just depends because some people do it for different reasons.
Yeah, I mean, we went to get as much as we could to cover as much of the costs we'd already put in,
Yeah.
that we put in.
It's difficult to know what
Well,
to
it
go
is
for as well,
because
isn't it?
it is because I mean we probably spent double what we made on the pledge, sort of thing.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
kind of one of them things where, but the whole idea of the pledge is I absolutely love pledge music. I think
Yeah.
it's a fantastic platform.
Yeah.
I love it. I see why bands do it. I see why even big bands do it because it just
Yeah.
gets your fans involved from the day one.
Yeah, I used to think
You
I
know.
was surprised by some of the bigger bands, but there is a lot because how else can you get such cool stuff?
Yeah, you get a lot of people who like slate it.
Yeah, because some of them they will offer cool stuff, but their target's not very much. So they're
No.
not exactly,
I
it's
mean,
not exactly trying to
like,
get loads of money from
The
their
very
fans.
first pledge campaign, and
Oh,
even
because
on,
you've
the,
done one
on this,
before, haven't you?
yeah, on the very first one, and then this one, we had people messaging going, "Why do you guys need to do a pledge campaign? You guys are rich. You'll have you guys got loads of money. You'll be able to do this without ripping fans off." And we're like, "How are we ripping fans off? I don't get it." It's like,
have you looked at the stuff that you can get?
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
An album.
if you're a fan of the band, then
An
what's
album
not to like?
for 10 or 12 quid, whatever. We're not exactly ripping people off.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
going to come out at
People
that
were kind of
price.
seeing it as like some sort of way, and I said it's just exactly the same as a pre-order for a game or a DVD,
Yeah.
but you get something else with it instead. And half the time you weren't actually given, it was actually cheaper than what it probably should be, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
If you took like the custom jackets we were charging for, the time spent in doing them and the materials, you
Costs,
could have
innit?
charged
Yeah.
probably more, but we didn't.
Yeah, because everyone has
so-
different strategies.
Same with the guitars. I mean, the guitars, if you look at the retail price of each of the guitars online, they're half the price of what you would buy. You could
Yeah.
go in a store and buy it for.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So
Did you sign them as well?
Yeah,
or-
they're all signed. Like, yeah.
Cool. How many did you had? 2 to give away?
Three.
Three. Yeah.
we probably, do you know, we probably could have done 10, and they're probably
Yeah.
all gone
Yeah.
because people went nuts for them. They were one of the first things to go.
That's cool.
You know, it was awesome
Yeah,
just
they
to
are
see.
nice.
And they are really nice guitars.
How long
as
have you
well.
been with Vintage for?
2011. No, yeah. It's about 2011, 2012, I think. Yeah.
Good while then.
Yeah, and they've always been
Good
supportive.
relationship with them.
Getting lots of stuff sent to me and that, and
Yeah. Have you got
Posting
who's your
stuff.
rep? Have you got a specific person you deal with, or?
yeah, a guy called Gav Coulson. Yeah, he's spot on. He plays in a lot of different bands. He's from Wakefield as well, so he knew the guys from Farquhar and Matt Black.
Ah, right. Oh, yeah.
Because I was on the phone to him and he goes, "Oh yeah, you're playing with Matt and the lads, aren't you?" And
They've all got the same
like,
accent, haven't they?
yeah, definitely. From Yorkshire.
So what endorsements have you got?
Nothing.
Yeah. AD Drums, I use.
Never heard of them.
Yeah.
Carl at AD Drums was awesome with me from the moment I spoke to him. The reason I ended up going with AD was SJC offered me an endorsement. And obviously a lot of bands I'm into, a lot of hardcore bands, pop punk bands use SJC, very cool.
Yeah.
When they came back at even an endorsement rate, the price was insane. Absolutely insane.
Wow.
And then when it hit these shores and they put VAT and tax and everything on it, it would have just been more than the kit was worth.
Yeah.
So I actually just went online and typed in UK custom drum companies, and they were the first one on Google. So I went in and had a look. And he's just based in Malvern down in Worcestershire. And I just dropped him a line, told him the idea I had for the kit, and he was just like, "Great, I'll send you some mock-ups."
Have you seen Hello Kitty?
Yeah.
I really like the
So then
designs.
he made the Hello Kitty kit for me. So he done that. XL drumsticks. Tori over at XL has looked after us since we toured with Veins of Jenna. I used theirs. Got in touch, by the way, toured with them. Blah,
It's like
blah, blah.
2010, isn't
It's
it?
like 2010, 2011 I've been using them, and I've used them ever since. Best sticks I've ever used. Saluda Cymbals. I'm endorsed through them now because of Farquhar.
Ah, right.
So I cracked her China at a gig a couple of years ago. Asked Josh if I could use his. Sounded amazing. Got the contact for them, dropped them our gig listing. And there we go, got that.
Cool. So the other guys have got some endorsements as well. Mikey has, hasn't he? Has he?
Nah.
Pizza Hut.
No one wants to endorse a Scotsman.
Yeah. He's endorsed by Scotch eggs,
Scotch
haggis, and anything else battered.
Iron Brew.
An Iron Brew.
Oh no, hang on.
I love an Iron Brew.
Actually,
endorsement.
Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey does get free Scottish shortbread when he goes to Edinburgh. When he
he goes
visits
home.
Edinburgh Woolen Mill.
It's not an endorsement. It's not an endorsement when your mum gives you it.
Edinburgh Woolen Mill. Brilliant.
When he pops in there, it's like,
Battered
"Oh, Mr.
shortbread."
Lawless, you want your shortbread?" Aye.
Mikey lives in Carlisle now.
He lives in Carlisle now. Yeah, he moved
Yeah.
down because obviously he was.
He's on a
travelling.
tag.
He's on a
He's in Carlisle.
He's got a curfew.
He
so-
can rehearse till 7 o'clock.
Yeah. We have to have him in the house by 8. But no, he when Mikey joined the band, he was obviously having to get a train down every weekend, gear down. He was having to leave gear down here and stuff.
Yeah.
And if he ever took his gear home, we had to try and make the first gig of the tour Edinburgh so we could go and pick it up and take it with us.
Convenience.
So then just out
I
of,
like the logistics.
yeah. So just out of pure love for the music and his commitment to the band, because he's got a great attitude to the band. He just
Relocated.
drop everything for the band. He relocated and made the whole thing
Fair play.
10 times easier.
Because at one point, when like Danny was at Newcastle, was he?
Yeah.
We never make it easy for ourselves, to
So
be
like
honest.
just to rehearse. Just
Yeah. That's why we didn't rehearse. No, we actually genuinely didn't rehearse.
No, we didn't. It was just sending stuff off a line
Yeah.
and
That must
rehearing.
have been difficult.
We
Or
one
frustrating a bit.
year I think we had 3 rehearsals in a year. That was it.
Yeah.
And
I
one of
suppose
them
if you're doing a
rehearsals
lot of
was to
gigs, though,
train
it's
a
not so bad.
standing guitarist. So, you know, we kind of got lazy with rehearsals, but we've rehearsed more this year than we probably have for the last 3 years.
Yeah. It's not so bad if you're doing lots of gigs.
Yeah.
That's kind of like rehearsals, isn't it? But
Most of our rehearsals were just in his house or my house,
Yeah.
just drinking copious amounts of tea and writing songs and playing on books.
He was drinking tea. I was just having red wine.
Just rubbing it in that I have to drive
or
home.
JD. Yeah, so I'm just sat there gradually getting more wasted, writing these songs and coming up with stupid lyrics.
As he's going, do you want a can? No, you're driving. All right, okay.
I can.
Yeah,
I'll just have this ball.
yeah. I'll sit with my bottle of wine while you rearrange my lyrics. Yeah.
Rewrite them, please.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Rosie, who tries to fit like 30 syllables in a 6-syllable line.
He's very wordy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Give it a go.
I'll just go, we'll take that out, that out, that out, that out. Now sing that. Oh, yeah, that fits.
No, I was disappointed the rap never made the final cut.
There was a rapper that got cut out, got vetoed.
Oh yeah, damn right.
Whole song, we did a hip-hop song. I'm joking.
Well, have you ever been offered any like deals with people who you've declined, like management deals or
Oh
booking
god, yeah.
agents or
Yes.
over the years?
Generally, it comes down to money. Is
Oh,
what a lot of
isn't
it
it?
comes down to, because
We'd
Bet-
love to work with you. You're amazing. We'd like £500 a month.
Yeah.
yeah,
What?
one company dropped us, like hounded us. I'm
And
not
then
gonna-
they
I'm not
got
gonna
real.
mention
Then
who
they got
were.
really nasty, didn't they?
When they got nasty, they just got quite shirty over
They
wanting
did,
a
Dave. Tell
reply
the
out of us.
truth.
No,
You were
they
hurt
didn't.
by it.
Yeah, I cried. No. But no, that we get people all the time who will, oh, I'd love to work with the band, and obviously you've got to look at the level of the person that it is and where they're at and where they're going to or where they aim to get to,
Yeah.
and then a lot of it comes down to money. Everyone's on a budget at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
we had people who were like, oh my God, we love the tunes, we love you guys, we see what you do and it's great, we'd love to work with you, what do you think? And you think, that's all well and good. So if they really want to work with us, they probably won't want that much. And then they'll go, but it's £1,000 a month.
Oh yeah, that was one of the best
But
ones
you can
as well.
drop,
yeah.
but you
What do you
can
get for that?
nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you
And we-
say to them going, are we going to make any of this money back through gigs? No.
That should be at the minimum, isn't it? Whatever you're
But-
paying, you should at least get back.
But bear
through
in mind,
gigs.
it's £1,000 a month. But if the right gig comes along, it might be a £3,000 buy-on. But you've still got to pay them the £1,000 a month. They just don't take commission. It's kind of one of them things,
You wonder how many bands would be in a position to do that. And make
It's
it
like
work.
it's like Jesse Ventura says, follow the money.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it just makes you think when you see these bands that are appearing out of nowhere that just seem to be like massive in the scene. Well, I say massive in the scene, but they're
Going
everywhere. You know what I mean? They
somewhere,
look.
I mean,
they look
one of-
probably look
one of-
bigger than they are. You think who's getting paid?
I mean, one of the best things was when we toured with Steel Panther, the people afterwards coming, how much did you pay to get on that? And we were like, nothing.
It does happen.
Right?
Yeah.
It does happen. Very rarely. We were lucky, but we were asked to play. And, and people going, all right, we've been told that you bought onto it. And it's like,
Someone spread a rumour that we paid 10 grand
no.
to get on the Steel Panther
I
tour.
heard
I mean,
that,
if
yeah.
we had 10 grand,
I was just like, I
I think
can't see that.
we'd be doing a lot more things like that.
We'd have done more tours off the back of it if we
Yeah.
had 10 grand to throw into tours. You know
sat
what I mean?
there. Oh yeah, we've just here you go.
Yeah. Oh, we'll just
Yeah,
do that. We'll just do that
exactly,
one
yeah.
massive tour, then just forget the 10 grand. It's all right.
Yeah.
But no,
But
it was
nah.
right place at the right time. Kind
I mean,
of moment.
we always made a decision right from the start that we'll never get ourselves into debt
No,
doing this.
you shouldn't. Once you get to a certain point, you shouldn't really, should you?
And we've seen bands that, we know bands that, have gotten into debt for it, and that's why they disappear.
What's the main reason they would get into debt? Because they keep doing buy-ons and stuff.
Because they
Yeah.
keep throwing money at it, but
Yeah.
not.
Credit cards, loans, all sorts of shit.
You've got to realise you can throw all that money at it, but if you're an up and coming starting band, you're not getting paid the fees, so you're not
There's
recouping
no
the
return.
money.
There's no return on investment.
Not
is there?
not then. The time you want to be throwing it in is when there's a demand.
Yeah.
Then throw
Yeah.
the money in, because then you can turn around and say you want an extra £100 a gig or you want an extra £200 a gig or
Yeah.
more. You know what I mean? And you're selling plenty of merch and stuff. That's when you can start to recoup it. But trying to put yourself into debt, it's a hard one. You've got to know the money's coming back.
Yeah.
It's all right taking loans and stuff and using credit cards and that. And in the early days, we got loans for stuff and that. But
Yeah,
we
or
knew
you all put your own money into.
put our
getting
money
going.
in, and we all
Yeah.
knew when it was coming back, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We knew we were getting the fees and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's just to get that instant boost,
Yeah.
and then take it back out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes the money's not just sitting right there at the right time.
No.
So,
No.
but no, we've always been very lucky with what we've got. No matter who we've gigged with, toured with, we've never had to pay a buy on. We've had to
Yeah.
pay money in to hold the gig, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But
like a
then
reservation
Yeah,
kind of
generally
thing.
you got it back. It was to kind of to make sure you turned
You're
up.
committed as well.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, isn't
We
it?
got that back, so I mean that was cool. But yeah, the Panther thing. We got paid to do the Panther tour, so
There you
we couldn't ask for any more, and we
No.
got looked after, and we got their rider and
Yeah.
everything. Basically, everything they got, we got.
Did you get to talk to them, meet them much?
Oh, every night.
Yeah.
Every night they'd come and thank us for opening for them. And
Yeah.
you think, hang on, no, we should
That's
be thanking you for letting us.
It was kind
open
of
for
like
you.
Yeah.
it's kind of like the Ugly Kid show.
Yeah, Ugly
show,
Kid Joe.
wasn't it? It was just like can can you guys come and do, you know, the support for the Glasgow gig? And we were just like, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got that last minute, didn't you?
Very last minute, yeah.
What happened there?
Went down the storm. No, just the gig came up and the guy running it knew Mikey, I think, and Mikey says, "Oh, this guy's dropped a hint. Get in touch." And I just dropped him a message. Says, "I think you spoke to Mikey." He went, "Yeah, I want you for the gig. Can you do it?" And it was
This was in like a week.
It was like a week.
It was
Yeah.
like a week,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
It was like a week
I was
before.
like, because like they're one of my favourite bands.
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't go. I was gonna go. I was
Yeah.
like,
So like
But
a
no,
week
it was
before.
it was really cool because I mean we was there setting up and like Whitfield, Crane, and a couple of other guys just came right up just and he said, "Hey, I'm Whit," and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, how we doing, man?" And you know, it's like, I used to watch you on MTV Rocks. Oh my god.
neighbour.
But they're the
It's
sort of people
funny.
you expect to walk up to and have to say hello to them.
Yeah.
But I
they
mean,
wouldn't.
like he came straight over. Like Anvil were the same and stuff like that.
I was at the Anvil gig.
You know, yeah. Like where I think when we played with the Choir Boys, they were the same stuff like that.
Yeah.
Panther. I mean, you know, they are just a great bunch of guys. And we walked into Rock City the first day of the Panther tour. We were setting up. We just put all our cases in, and they stopped the sound check to come off stage to introduce themselves to
Wow.
us.
That's good.
Even that the sound guy, Nick's giving them that. Yeah,
What are you doing?
we've got time. You know, we've got time, and they were like, no. Came over, introduced themselves, thanked us for being there, and then went and carried on. Then every night would come and thank us or wish us good luck for the set, or come and stand at the side and you know watch the set and stuff. And just a phenomenal bunch of people, and the whole team behind them as well. You know, the sound guys, the lighting guys, because we had their lighting engineer, sound engineer, monitor techs, all that. You know, they really showed what is possible from a band to look after.
And every time
an
they've
upcoming band.
been back to the UK, we've always hooked up with them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still speak to them, you know, when new albums come out, they want copies of it. When they come over, they VIP us to the gigs and stuff like that. You know, they are
That's cool. That.
just a good bunch of people, really good people, and the people behind them as well.
Yeah. What year was that?
12.
12.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the guys out of Buck Cherry, they were really nice as well. We met them.
Oh yeah, really cool.
They
When
were
was that?
good. November last year.
Yeah, no, and Panther played with Buck Cherry and
Oh,
Bowling
yeah,
for Soup.
That was a good one. That.
So like all, you know,
yeah. They
got
just
to hang out with
came,
them.
you know, they just came right up to us like, and we're just like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And it was, you know, it was really nice.
How many gigs was that?
that we went to.
Yeah.
I think we went to 2, did we? 1, 2? No, 1.
It was one, yeah.
Went to 1 because we went to see Nickelback the next night. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to the Manchester show.
How many gigs was on the Steel Panther?
When we played with
Yeah, when
them.
you played with them. How many?
9.
9. Was that like a lot of them? How many nights in a row?
It was 9 dates over, was it 11 or 12 days? So it was 2 days off on the tour.
That's pretty.
That was it.
Good going.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome. So we got to play to like 40,000 people in 9 days, sort of thing. It was
That's cool.
just a
Was
phenomenal
it the
experience.
academies?
Academies, the Apollo, we played
Oh, the
Hammersmith
Apollo.
Apollo,
Nice.
Manchester Apollo,
Yeah.
all that. Just like I say, a phenomenal experience to be able to say that we did it.
Yeah.
You
They've
know.
got some good footage of it.
Yeah, there's footage on YouTube, photographs. Yeah, there's plenty of memories there for it anyway.
Yeah, cool.
A lot.
But that was.
And there'll be more to
remember that.
come.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Hopefully,
yeah.
yeah.
Something else in the pipeline.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, lots of stuff in the pipeline.
What's the most amount of gigs what's the most in a row you've ever done?
Was it 14 once?
When we did Europe.
It was about
When
14,
we
wasn't it?
did the Tour of the Damned.
What,
and
no
we did-
days off?
No.
No.
We did 11
We
gigs.
don't like days off. You
No,
don't
no,
make
we
money
did-
on days
That's
off.
it. We
No,
did
I know that, but yeah.
we did 11 in the UK,
Yeah.
right? And then we were at Newcastle, and we had to get to Folkestone.
Oh, for the ferry
Yeah,
crossing.
so I drove,
Yeah, but we only booked to play Belgium the day before. We booked it
Yeah.
all on our phones.
and it was 4 gigs in Belgium, wasn't
I
it?
did 4 gigs in Belgium, then drove all
Oh,
the
that's
way
15,
home.
shit.
So 15.
Yeah, so basically what we did, we were in Newcastle, I drove all the way to Folkestone.
That's a drive.
Yeah.
I had 2 stops. These lot, we'll make sure we're awake to make sure you don't fall asleep.
I don't even think we got to Gateshead, had we?
And then I stopped at Folkestone and I went, right guys, and he's like, oh my god, what's up?
Couldn't
and then
believe
I
his
went,
son was up.
I goes, we're here. He says, I'm in the back sleeping, Dave, you drive.
Yeah.
So that was it. Done.
Yeah, like
What'd that do to your
15.
voice?
Pardon?
What'd that do to your voice? That many gigs in a row?
I was all right actually at the end of that one.
He's great because
The
he
only-
maintains himself.
The
well.
only one that was really bad was, I think, is the place that we slept at in Holland, like the Crack Den.
Yeah. Yeah, when
I was
there's
nuts.
when there's one mattress to share between 8 people in a room that's just got a single light bulb hanging and that's all that's in the room, and there's blood on things,
Yeah.
you kind of think, I don't know if this is going to be the most comfortable of nights that we're going to have
And
here.
it was like November, the window was kind of cracked and there was
the
wind,
window wasn't shut.
there was mould and shit, and we'd played the gig, I woke up and the voice was like completely like Deidre Barlow on crack. It was just like and it was like a laryngitis type of thing, wasn't it? And then
She had it after the tour as
oh,
well.
then I
It was
went
so
to
bad.
the next gig, wasn't it? The last one, like a biker festival, and I had to just steam myself over a kettle, and then Manuka honey drink.
Oh, Manuka honey.
And then I was warming up for like about 40 minutes, wasn't I?
Yeah.
In fact, it was you who first told me about Manuka honey years ago. when I
and
asked you
then
about that.
and then I played the gig, and 10 minutes after stopping singing and talking, my voice just completely went. And it was like it was gone for about 2 or 3 days.
I find that if you ever quite often after a tour, you get ill just after, like your body almost holds back, like you feel it coming on, and then you get home and you're just like.
I mean, the thing is for him, he's got great maintenance for his voice. So he warms up, he cools down, he drinks the right thing, everything.
Sleep and water, those are the two main ones, aren't they?
Whereas we like alcohol too much. So like 2 days.
You have to miss out on some of that.
2 days, he does.
Sometimes.
every night.
Yeah.
And then if there's
Unless we've got a day off the next day,
If there's a day off the next
he
day.
won't drink.
No.
yeah.
He'll stay out.
Did you used to though?
At the kind of start, because it was easier singing. It wasn't as
Right.
intense.
Yeah.
We weren't doing 15 gigs in a row, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
All
he's
playing for as
he's the
long.
type of guy who gets to the 15th gig and still singing like an angel, and we're like 2 days in gone because we've all been in a club and we're shouting to each other.
Yeah. I even remember before the smoking ban.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh man. Well, that's the thing. You go abroad.
All the
like
dry ice
Belgium.
machine.
You go to Europe and it's just
Yeah.
they're smoking and you're inhaling it the whole time. You're like, do you know what? It probably was quite a good idea.
Yeah,
Ban
because in
smoking.
Belgium they do have a smoking ban, but they just ignore it.
Yeah. Just
Because
crack
I
on.
remember
Same in Holland as well.
Yeah, the one we I think it might have been Holland. The one we played in where the punters just put money in a pot and smoke, and if they get a fine, they've got the money.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So they basically cover it off for the
Yeah,
venue.
just like, if you let us smoke it, we'll just keep every time we come in, we'll just put money in this pot, and they
Yeah.
just get fined. There you go, pay that, carry on smoking.
Nice. All right, I suppose that is one way to get around it.
Yeah,
Probably not as expensive a fine as over here, is it?
No,
It's like
probably
100
not.
quid,
yeah, probably.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Have you got plans to go back to Europe then?
nothing booked, but we definitely want to
No,
go
we
over
definitely
and
do want to do it.
tour this album.
Well,
over there.
as you know, it's a different sort of vibe and scene over
Yeah.
there.
Well, in some ways, it's better.
a lot of the pledges come from Europe as well.
Yeah,
Europe and
you
America.
feel like you want to get out there and
That's
play
the
for
thing,
them.
you know, if people have took the time to check us out, keep in touch,
Yeah, and you get messages from all the time saying, "When are
Exactly.
you gonna?"
buy the album,
Yeah.
you kind of want to go over and take the shot of them.
We've never
Yeah.
had a bad experience in Europe,
Never.
have we?
Never
No.
once.
It's
No.
always been.
It's a different mentality out there
Always
as well,
been
isn't it,
fun.
from the fans?
You feel like a rock star over there
Yeah,
because
you
literally you don't want for
One
anything.
of the best gigs was that very last minute one, wasn't it? To fill in a gap at that bar in Holland, where that door opened and that guy was taking a shit. Because the bog
Yeah.
door was right
Oh, yeah.
beside the stage.
Side of the stage.
What, while you were
And-
playing?
While we were playing, yeah. And he was squatting down on it, and the door got kicked open because somebody didn't know if he was in it, and he was sat there just going,
Cool.
and Dave's there going,
shit, and I'm drumming. Oh, that's nice.
well, they're going, way, and then he shuts the door again. So we give him a round of applause when he came out.
Aye.
But no, it was amazing because it was.
They had to lock the doors. It was sold out. They couldn't
Yeah,
let
yeah, the
another
place was
person in.
absolutely rammed in, and everyone was just like all creeping past the gear to get to the toilets.
Ah.
It was just like a proper old school one-off gig that we just thought we'll
Yeah.
just play in this place.
We even camped. We stayed in tents that
Wow.
night as well.
Yeah.
We camped. It was honestly, it was just brilliant. They locked the door.
the
said,
microphones
"No more
kept giving
yeah."
us shocks while
No
I
one
was
could
singing.
get
It was like,
It was that busy that where the stage was, it was a long, thin venue. Where the stage was, the door was at the other end of the venue. So to get the gear out, like army ants, we had to get everyone in the crowd
chain.
to hand the gear out to the door.
Yeah.
And we parked the van outside the door, and straight away the police come and went, "You can't park there."
yeah, nearly
We're
getting
like,
arrested because we're arguing.
Well,
with
it was
them.
like, where do you want us to park? And they pointed like 100 metres down the road. We were like, but all the gear's on the pavement. And we're in a public area. There's no cars. What we
Yeah.
do? What's wrong? You know. But
in the end,
all right. It was great
the
fun,
Dutch fans kind of
Helped.
helped to
They did.
translate
They
it, didn't
really helped.
Let's extend
And
the
argued
chain
with the
down the
police
100
people.
metres.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it is a bit more. They're a bit more enthusiastic out there, I think, aren't they?
I think it's, I don't know what it is. I mean, over here you probably go, right, we want beer. And they go, oh, there's 4 of you, there's 8 cans.
Yeah.
You know, and then you go over there and you go, I want beer. And they go, there's 4 of you, there's 4 fridges.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the only reason we did a one-off in Belgium was because they paid us quite well. They paid for the accommodation and they just give us food, and it was worthwhile.
I mean, we were flown out to Norway for 1 gig. They flew us out. We were there for 3 days, put us up, 5-star hotel, right opposite the venue. We were the only people on the floor. It was getting renovated as well, and there was only our rooms open on that floor alone.
Yeah, we had a trolley race, didn't we?
Trolley race.
Trolleys on the top floor.
It was nuts. It was like brand spanking new, 5-star hotel, right over the road from the venue. We got breakfast, dinner, tea, food, drink, everything. Played the show, got paid, sold a ton of merch.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Merch just crazy. Just
you
don't expect it, do you?
I think it was like 5 people off, sold out. We were like, there was people there rammed, singing every word. I'm not just talking the choruses.
Yeah.
I'm thinking sang every song start to finish, and I'm like, we've never been to Norway.
Yeah.
I've never posted anything to Norway. It must literally be from listening online.
Yeah, which is like a really old school thing. That
it is. It's
you
just
wouldn't
nuts.
think would
No
really
wonder we
happen
sold
these
so
days.
much. We sold so much merch there because
Plus, we were selling it quite cheap because of the
in
price
in
change.
the grand scheme of things over there, you know, we were probably selling it cheap because, I mean, a pack of cigarettes in Norway is like 14 quid.
Yeah,
It's £9 a pint in the bar we were in.
Yeah,
You know, so when we were selling the T-shirt
It's
for
4
20
quid
quid
for a sausage roll.
yeah,
That scarred me for ages. Then.
we bought when we were in the airport, we bought a litre of gin and a litre of vodka, and we just went, it's all right, we'll buy the mixer in the local supermarket. So there was a 7-Eleven right round the corner from the hotel, and we went in there and it was £6 for a bottle of Coke, right? And we're like, shit, so we're drinking this straight then. The only thing that was cheap was sweets. Any food. I mean, we went and got like a burger and chips one night, and it was like 15 quid in a takeaway. And stuff, it was nuts. Luckily, like I say, we were getting looked after most of the time. It's just like in the middle of the evening when you've been drinking, you know, you sometimes like do a pizza or a kebab.
Yeah, the guy at the like 7-Eleven type spa shop on the second night took pity on us, didn't he? And he
I think it was because Shane was so short, he
and
just
he
ripped into him.
yeah, and he reduced the price of like the hot food. And he goes, it's going to be going out soon. He says, I'll reduce it, and like.
And then just ripped into Shane for being a short ass.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. I think because we laughed at him, he knocked money off.
it works.
Yeah.
Bring out the little guy.
Yeah, bring him in. Oh, this is a bit too expensive. Shane, come in. Don't take pity on us.
No, definitely like. But no, it's good fun doing that. Like, but I mean, definitely, you know, in venues UK wise as well. I mean, Brickyard's always, you know, top one. We always loved playing the Barfly in London, didn't we? But that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh yeah.
But it's like a burger joint now or something like that. It's a phenomenal venue as well.
That was always good fun playing there. We loved playing Newcastle, obviously. You know, it was like Think Tank,
Manchester.
Lead,
Trillions,
Trillions, no.
Yeah.
To be fair, if you think about it, in the grand scheme of things, we've not really had many bad experiences, really. We had a couple years ago in Leeds where...
Bad in terms of what?
Bad in the terms of turning up and the bar had closed.
Oh, right.
But the promoter knew the bar had closed and not told us, so we're knocking on the door to a blacked out venue with all the pumps removed and everything, and you're like, so what we're doing? To then have someone who knows the promoter turn up, take you to another venue, and suddenly you're on an 8-band bill because they've had to chuck everyone on the one night.
Yeah.
And you're not... So, yeah, really, we haven't had that many bad experiences. Generally, what we ask for, we get, you know, and they're all good people, you know. Yeah. They're keeping the scene alive at the end of the day, and so generally everyone you deal with, whether promoters, whether they're on a big scale or small scale, just starting up, or maybe sometimes even if they overpromise you sometimes because they're just starting up, they're good people.
End of the day.
The end of the day, they're doing it for the passion for the music.
Yeah.
You know, not many of them are doing it for money.
No.
You know, maybe your bigger ones, obviously, because it's their job, but the people who are doing it independently and running great little festivals and little venues and stuff, and just wanting to book your band just to have you come and play their hometown, it's just purely for the love of the music, and it's good when phenomenal. You need them people.
Yeah, it's good when someone reaches out who you don't know. Yeah, just comes out of nowhere and offers you a good gig. That's kind of what you want, what you're working for, isn't it? Things like it's like your reputation's got you into somewhere. Sometimes it could be a fan. It could just be a fan who's got a mate who runs a venue, and they go,
oh my God, I love your band. And you go, right, cool. When are you going to play near us? Oh, I don't really know anyone. Right, well, I can get you a gig here on this day. What would you need? What would your deal be? And you'll go, oh, well, we've never been there before, and we don't know what you can do, so what are you thinking? Well, this. Well, yeah, let's do that as a guarantee then. Yeah. Cool, first time there, put a couple of locals on, we'll play it folk. You know, good fun.
Yeah.
And like I say, even if you go in and there's not many people there and you've never been before, it's something to build on. But you don't lose faith in the promoter because you just know why they've done it. They've done it out of the pure love of it, and you've still not been let down. You've still got what you asked for, and
and still, even if there's for whatever reason, if there's 10 people there, you still really play to them 10 people as if it was 10,000.
I hate watching bands that do that. You know,
you can tell when they're just not asked.
I've seen bands on tours I've done recently, you know, who've come on stage, and it might be you know, when I've played for other bands and stuff, and it might be a quiet night. And you know it's a quiet night watching them. It shouldn't be whether I was playing to you in here or playing to 1,000 people.
Yeah.
It should be the same.
You should be really thankful to those people who are there.
Because they're the ones that will go home and say, bloody hell, you should have come to that gig last night.
Because if you nail it in front of the small group of people, they could be go and tell their friends. And then
that's how you build.
Next time, they might bring their friends.
That's how it works,
yeah. But some bands sort of, they're affected by it.
I've seen bands and I think, I would never come and watch you again if I didn't know you were better than this sort of thing. No, not in a disrespectful way. No, it's just in a total, do you know what? I've seen you before. I've seen how good you can be.
Yeah.
I've seen you now because you play into a quiet room and you look miserable. There's no energy, no enthusiasm. It's took all the power out of your songs. If this was my first time watching you, I wouldn't go and check you out. No. You know what I mean? No, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be the same show to whatever you're playing to.
Yeah. Just look at it as a posh practice. That's what we used to call it.
Yeah, exactly. Someone still paid the money to come through the door to see you. You know, so
I mean that's happened to us before. We've turned up at gigs and then, you know, it's like, you know, with those gigs where the other like local supports have brought their shall we say family and close friends.
Oh yes.
And then as it gets to your slot at the last night, you know, last of the night, and then they've all kind of gone.
Yeah.
And there's like 10, 11 people there from the 60 that were there.
Yep.
But we've had that, and we know what the score is, but we just go out there and absolutely just nail it, 100%. And at the end of it, everyone that stayed just bought all the merch.
I was going to say, we sell loads of merch.
Yeah. And then the next time we've been back, it's been busier. And then the third time, it gets really packed up.
It's just putting that effort, just the same effort, whatever.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't change what you're doing.
I mean, you know exactly how it is. So
I was at a gig like at the Brickyard like a few weeks back, like a launchpad night, and
they're really good them launchpad nights.
And you know the four bands were playing, but every band brought their own crowd, and after every band had played, they went.
The crowd left with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not
so
really...
the night started out with 80 folk in. It was, you know, a bit more. It was. I thought this is good. This. By the end of the night, the last band were playing to 12 people.
In a venue that holds 300.
And everyone had gone, but none of the bands had stayed to watch the other bands.
Yeah.
Or none of the other fans. So they're not really fans of music. They just come to support their, you know.
We go to festivals that, you know, and you'll have done the same. We've been to festivals, and our slot will be 10 o'clock at night, and at 12 o'clock midday, we're stood there watching the bands.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't always do it, don't get me wrong. I mean, distance, travel gets in the way, work gets in the way, anything. But if we can be there to watch the bands and watch who's ever, we will be.
Yeah, because basically the best thing about it is travelling down there, banter.
Yeah,
we always have a KFC stop.
KFC.
Oh yes.
and a good
gravy shots
and a bit more of banter, and then
I'm my dad.
and then basically what I do is I buy the Daily Sport and read out the stories and make everyone laugh at the hilarious stories.
And the fizz.
Like the stories, like I always get disturbed on the bog by Princess Diana's ghost. I'm like, how can you beat that? You know. I'd always buy the Viz, yeah.
I just get him to read to me while I'm driving.
And he's down the road going,
tell me a story.
yeah, I do. Read them all out. And
cheeks are hurting by the time you've got there for reading the whole Viz.
And then we might have another stop, and then we're at the gig.
Yeah.
And then we're just wandering about. And
it's just nice to see folk and meet folk, and you speak to people online all the time, and you get to actually go and spend some time with them and speak to them and put a face to a name and stuff. It's great.
Well, that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this.
Yeah, I love it.
Because this is probably the longest I've ever spoken to you two.
Oh, yeah.
You could add all the time we've spoken over the
normally
last
when
5
I see
years.
you, I avoid you.
Touché.
I go, I'm crossing the road now. Marc's coming.
He's got a Farquhar radar. It's like, it vibrates. He goes. And he's like, there's a Farquhar about. Yeah. Shit, he's over there. Run.
My dynamo alarm has gone off. He's here somewhere.
You know what I mean, though?
No, it is, no, because generally it's gigs, isn't it?
Yeah,
generally,
it's like your gig or my gig. You've
yeah.
got to go off and do something, or I've got to go off, and it's
or
just
we're playing the same gig, and we're on at different times, or one's loading while the other's loading out, or we're both loading in, or one's playing while the other one's loading in, and it's always passing comments and that, and so it is nice to sit down and actually have a crack with you.
Yeah, that's why I'll try and get as many people like that I've known for the past however many years. You build up a contact list, but these people who you know are really good and they're professional, but you never get to talk to them. You don't know them.
You only really know them in a professional capacity, don't you?
Yeah.
You're all in the same place.
I mean, I have a terrible memory for names.
Yeah, that's why sometimes Facebook's good for that.
But,
that was that person.
No,
right.
but the worst one is like when I'm at any gigs or festivals and someone comes up to you.
Oh, yeah.
Rosie, how you doing?
Yeah.
No, I love Lawless. And it's like, Dave's like, I know that guy, what's his name? And I'm like,
yeah,
bugger me if I know.
Yeah, I did a bit of that.
You know, I'm just like, oh my God, you know.
All I know is last time I seen him, he was at Newcastle.
I know them by the face, and I know them to talk to, but try to remember the names because you meet that many people and stuff. Try to remember everybody's like nuts.
It also depends how much contact they keep with you after as well. You know, because some people like all your pictures, comment on all your stuff, write to you, speak to you, Facebook chat with you all the time, and other people just really love the music.
Yeah.
Or some people aren't on social media.
Well, that's true.
You know, depending on the age range.
Not many, but...
the gigs. No, but I mean, you know, we play to people up to like 70, 80-year-old and down to like 15-year-old or whatever, you know, depending on what the festival is and age limits. And it is hard to try and remember everybody and, you know, put the face to the name.
Yeah. Sometimes when they come up to you and you're like, I do recognise this person, but I can't.
So someone said to me last night at the Brickyard show, she was like, "You don't even remember me, do you?" She was in fancy dress. She was in fancy dress with white contact lenses in, full face of makeup and a wig on, and she went, "You don't even know me. I was at your Newcastle gig." And I thought, I think I know who you are, but
who was it?
And I said, I don't know, I did. And she said to me, she says, "You don't recognise me, do you?" And I said, "Well, someone tells me you didn't look like that last time I saw you." You know what I mean? And you know,
bright orange wig on and
yeah.
Like blue face.
At least if she turns up like that next time to Newcastle, I'll go, "You were at the Brickyard."
Yeah. But it's cool when you get that kind of thing from when you meet people and they absolutely love your band. It's like kind of one of the reasons why you get into it, to do it in the first place.
That's why everyone gets into it, don't they?
You certainly don't get it for money these days.
No, I mean, it's like people, you know, anybody that always, you know, wants to pick up a guitar and start a band or get in a band, you know, the first thing anybody when they start a band out, and they'll all try and deny it or something, but the first thing you want to do is you want to get famous, you want to get rich, and you want to, like, you know, if you want your women, you get your women, you know, you want to live that lifestyle. That's why you do it when you first start out, because you want to be a
rock star, basically. You want to be a rock star.
And then gradually you hear the people going, "No, I was never in it for that. I was in it for the music." It's like, no, you weren't. Just admit it. That's what everyone wants to do, the dream.
But to be fair, that lifestyle almost doesn't really exist anymore.
No.
Unless you're like right at the top. Which
probably in the hip-hop game now.
Yeah,
you know,
that's why we did try and do a hip-hop song, didn't we, in the album?
We thought, this is women, alcohol and money here.
Yeah.
Get that rap.
Little sidetrack in case it doesn't
work out. Get that rap sorted.
Because I mean, we did come on stage once to is it 3 Mafia 6? Is it or 3 6 Mafia?
3 6 Mafia.
Yeah, you know. Have you ever seen a film? Have you ever seen a film called The Campaign with Will Ferrell in it?
I might have done.
Whether he's running for president.
Oh yeah.
And there's a clip in it where him and his wife are arguing, and they say, "Listen to your music, kiddies," and the kids put the headphones on. And it's going, ass and titties, ass and titties, ass and titties, and big booty bitches. And we said, we've got to come on stage to that song. So we came on stage one side to that one. So we were just trying to think for our alternative, what could it be like? What was it?
I don't know. What else do you want to look at?
I don't know. They're like,
hands and faces.
Heads, knees and toes.
Heads, knees and toes.
I was trying to figure to do with something of Cumbrian or something like pub food.
Something to do with pub food?
Yeah. I don't know.
Scampi, chips.
Scampi. Yeah, you could do, what was it? Pork scratchings and lager. Pork scratchings and lager.
Does it have the same appeal to the same audience, though?
I don't know, it might do.
Depends on the audience.
Yeah.
Pub generation.
Depends where you're playing.
Put it out to folk, look, we've got ass and titties, or pork scratchings and lager. What do you want?
But I wonder if, like, going back to like younger people getting into music now, if they have the same dreams that like we would have had years ago, because are they more educated now that it's not really like that anymore, or there's not as much money in it?
I don't know. I mean, that's actually a really good question. I really, really don't know.
Like, if you had someone who's like 12 or 13 starting to play guitar, what do they know? Are they aware of how tough it is these days? Like,
I think
it's not really.
I don't think a lot of people do know how tough it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, even people who don't pick up an instrument, people see these bands appear and go, well, why are you not in the front?
Yeah, they just look.
Why are you not on the front of Kerrang? Why are you not on
MTV?
And why are you not on Radio 1?
Yeah.
And they don't realise what time and money's gone into that.
You say to them, go, give me 1.2 million and I'll show you.
I'll do it, yeah.
You know, it's just
insane.
Like
people don't
like
understand. And probably people, as you say, who are coming up just learning guitar and that, probably think, oh yeah, I can be a rock star.
I mean, I know from like teaching guitar, a lot of the kids, they like Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, you'll get that a lot, won't you?
You know, and then you think, like, yeah, but when you're looking at Ed Sheeran, it's a bullshit background story.
Well, yeah.
He wasn't roughing it and, you know,
well, yeah, the story behind has been fabricated.
Yeah,
it's
been fabricated.
It's almost like he was pulled off the street, And
you know, it's like even
why
Guns
can't they just sell him as a good musician?
You know, it's like even Guns N' Roses background stories all made up as well to make him sound all indie. And
it's like when he was Glastonbury. Like, one man on the guitar, I thought he did really well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
that's a selling point. That's a selling point for an artist in itself. Not you don't need all.
I like his music. His songs come on the radio at work, and you know, I wouldn't knock them off. You know, he can write well, he can sing well. So,
but it doesn't give a good story when it's like, you know, if he just said he came from a really good background, shall we say, and here he is. You know, whereas. It sounds better going, yeah, he came from he
came from nothing, man.
You know, really, you know, normal family and
Jenny from the block.
Same school, yeah, and you know, he went down to London to chase his dreams, and he slept rough on benches and busked in the subway, and
which is the story for Jack Johnson.
Yeah,
because I was in Australia when he was a busker in Sydney.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Is he still going?
I don't know.
That's it. There's a connection because he ripped off that other guy's song and got sued for Ed Sheeran. He's ripped off Jack Johnson's story. So Jack Johnson to sue him.
You stole my life.
And go, you stole my life.
There's a lot of that going on though, isn't there? Yeah. People getting sued for ripping off songs.
Yeah.
It's like even the what do you call them? The biggest band in the world. I forgot what they're called. Led Zeppelin. Didn't they get done?
Oh yeah, just not so long back. Yeah. They got done because one of their riffs was used by another band,
and several of other riffs.
Yeah, and they did, but they didn't credit the other band or anything like that. It was found afterwards. It happened to Green Day as well, didn't it?
Yeah, Green Day got done for Warning.
Green Day got done for Warning.
Oh yeah,
that Scottish band.
I wonder if it's like they just because they've like got quite successful. Think, oh well, what they're gonna do?
Yeah.
But it's still legal. It's still illegal.
Still legal if it's copywritten.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, it's like that Virgin Trains. Did you see that one?
No.
You've not seen there's a band called. Oh, I wish I knew what they were called.
Oh, that heavy metal.
Yeah, it's like there's a woman going for a job interview. Yeah. And there's two versions. Like, which one do you want to do today, Karen?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
The heavy metal that they use
it's like a death metal track in the background,
but they didn't get permission.
Right. So they're now suing Virgin, are they?
I don't know what's happening, but it was all in the media.
I'd imagine Virgin will probably just give it a little.
And this was a proper signed band.
Yeah. Free trains for everyone.
Yeah,
that's great when you've got to carry a drum kit with you and a set of amps.
But it was also the interesting that they used heavy metal as the negative side of it. Everything was going wrong to the soundtrack of heavy metal. All the good was like Spandau Ballet, you know. Like
I think it's that heaven and hell sort of thing, isn't it?
It's just like that's the mainstream perception of heavy metal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
doom and gloom.
You've just painted the whole of like heavy metal and death metal and all that with that picture right there.
Exactly.
The thing is though, like I've seen more fights in clubs and venues where they play, should we say, normal pop music than I've ever seen. I've never seen any fights or trouble, any rock gigs.
Most people in the rock and metal scene are all there for the same reason.
It's much more of a community vibe. It is rock and heavy metal.
It's more like a family vibe. It's like. It's like everybody's there for the same reason, and whether you know the person next to you or don't, you feel like in the right song you can put your arm around them and just mosh away with them. You know what I mean?
Prime example of that is like Reading and Leeds. Well, that's become now because I would never go to that anymore. I used to go when it like
I did
2001, 2, 3, 4.
I was at 2000 and 2001.
Then it just became.
He thought Dave went to his first one thinking Steps were going to play, and then he was like, "Oh my god!" Then he totally got blasted with the metal and rock, and it just changed his mind. And he's like,
me up to a lot of new
wrong
bands.
direction. He went home, ripped up his Steps poster, and just went, put up his Offspring one, and that was it.
But it's just become one of those, like a chav fest, where you get people just going to get smashed, and just like they're not even there for the music. They're just there for
when I went.
And when you're paying that much money for it,
it was like Marilyn Manson, System of a Down, Incubus, Rancid, all that. Like the days were pretty much set up for alternative and rock and metal.
Yeah.
Then I said, obviously, I understand why they do it, because obviously to get the crowd through the door, they've got to expand and get a wider
for everyone, really.
So now, to me, it's a lot more indie.
Yeah.
A lot more indie, and I know they've got the dance stage and stuff like that, but it's a lot more indie. But then they like to chuck a few hardcore bands in and that. You know, you might have Ed Sheeran, and the main support will be Parkway Drive.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And I think they do that to try and cater to everyone, but it's not the similar sort of lineup to what it was when we were probably going.
And if you look back at some of the lineups, you think, wow, what a fucking lineup that was.
And then you look and go, how many bands are still going?
Yeah, well, that's that as well. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But like a lot of there's some bands that don't really, like Kendall Calling does it a lot, where a lot of the bands, you see them and you go, I didn't even know they were still going.
Yeah.
But they seem to come out the woodwork for festivals in the summer, like, I don't know, like Cast or Shed 7 or something. Yeah. It's like, oh, I didn't even know they were still
even
going.
When you see Glastonbury and stuff like that, they must just pay them enough to
make
them come out of hibernation sort of thing, you know what I mean? Because they'll just go, right, we don't want you to play anywhere else.
That'll be us in
Glastonbury.
That'll be us in 5 years.
It'd be nice to be able to do that, to be fair. If every summer you just had like 5 or 6 or 7 awesome festivals that you got paid to do, and then go home.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not too bad a job, is it?
Just go in and quickly relearn your songs.
Yeah. In front of 50,000 people.
Yeah, nice. Nice little earner for the summer.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I don't know, what festivals do you guys go to? Like not that you're not playing at. Which are your favourite festivals?
To be honest, I'd normally go to Download. I haven't been for the last couple of years just because time fell wrong with being away or or us gigging and stuff like that.
And it's expensive.
Yeah, well, it isn't. It isn't. I mean, if you think you say, it's a couple £100 to go to Download, but most of the bands that play on the main stage would probably. Well, your headliners are generally £50 a ticket headliners from and your bands below are probably £20 to £30. So, like a lot of them.
Yeah.
So if you think what you're getting for 3 days of music, it's a lot of money to shell out at one time. But I don't think it's as expensive as people maybe think.
I just think it is when you see people who like get smashed and they don't hardly see any band, or they don't see any band.
That I don't understand.
I went through a phase when I did that in like 99, 2000, 2001, where I was getting home and I was going, I can't remember like one band. I was like, what am I doing?
That's why I like Download, because you go on the Wednesday and you get smashed Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. But once the bands start, I don't tend to go.
You start planning
because you know you're going to be out your bed.
That's what you're there
10
for.
o'clock in the morning and not getting back to your tent till midnight.
You can get together with your mates and get smashed anytime.
Exactly. So for me, when I'm at Download, I do spend most of the day.
It's probably like, same thing as Dave, just trying to find that time in between everything. I mean, I've been to a few Downloads, last sort of few, but I mean, I tend to try and get to as many local gigs as I can.
Yeah.
I think I've been to about 4 in the last month.
I go around the country watching gigs quite a lot.
Yeah,
I've
seen you get about.
I always try to get about and stuff, and stuff like that.
I think that well, I've said this many times on this podcast, but that's what a lot of people don't do anymore. Is they just come out for the bigger gigs. Like obviously, I went to see Metallica on Thursday. I paid £90 for that. Yeah. But then I came to see you guys on
£6.
Yeah.
And we're better.
But not enough people. Way better. But not enough people are doing that. I don't think.
And Marc still owes me for that as well.
Oh yeah, I do, don't I? Don't let me forget.
So he has not paid £6. Yeah. Everyone, he has not paid £6.
Yeah. 12.
Yeah, don't let me forget. But I don't think enough people are doing that as well. They're not doing both. Like, it's fair enough if you want to go to the big, the top gigs, but also you should. Yeah. I think people have. I don't know if they've got
is it a value for money thing or something?
Or just a poor perception of what unsigned bands are like, because they don't
go. It's a herd mentality. Is my mates going? No, then I'm not going.
Or like, I've always used the example of remember when Dragon Force played the Brickyard a couple of years ago? They played on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
and we had our album launch on the Saturday,
Yeah.
and theirs was sold out. So we went and gave flyers out.
Yeah, that's what I do as well.
And I didn't recognise a single person.
No.
From no one.
Seen that before when I go and watch like Skindred and Feed the Rhino.
Yeah, so like,
and
where
stuff
are you
like
guys?
That. You're like,
the
who are these people? I've
yeah.
never seen them in the street or in a club or in a bar or anything like that.
You can see like the younger lad with his dad, like they're all bedroom players, but they just come out for these bands and like, well, if you want to be in a band or you want to be in this, go and like that's your scene. You should be going to there every week.
But the kind of way you've got to look at it is your 90 quid a ticket, festival headliners and arena fillers and stuff like that, right? When they all pack it in and call it a day, and there is no Metallica, Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses, DC, Sabbath, all that, right? I mean, I can't personally. Someone might listen to this and put it straight away.
Before, haven't we?
I've talked. Well, this has come up before.
Who's going to be your 3 download headliners that can put 100,000 people in a field?
The question was, who's
3 days?
Who's going to be headlining Download in 10 years?
And the ones that you can think of.
I can't think, because a lot of them will probably be gone in 10 years.
But the ones that you can think of don't actually need to do it, because they can do it off their own bat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there is that. Yeah. But I mean, does automatically take those headliners like Aerosmith, Metallica, Slash, like the ones who were supporting them? Do they just automatically go up?
But does that give the crowd
the same amount of people turn up?
Is the demand there then? If once you've taken their big names out?
Well, if Download puts them as headliners and tells you these are headliners, do people just go? Would I accept it and just go?
Yeah, possibly. I don't.
Like people like Five Finger Death Punch. Yeah. That kind of level.
People love Download. At the end of the day. Yeah. How many people buy their Download ticket before the bands are announced?
Yeah.
You know, so you might buy your ticket, 250 quid or whatever, it's 210 quid, and then the bands get announced, and you hate all the headliners.
There is that.
And all that. But the great thing is, I mean, if I go to Download, I spend a lot of time in the tents.
Yeah.
Because there's some really cool...
Because it's dark. That's why he spends time in the tents.
It's out the rain, I can have a coffee.
And he lurks about.
Yeah.
Well, the next tier maybe like... I was going to say Five Finger Death Punch, Alter Bridge, Foo Fighters. Obviously, they're at that level. There are some that you could see would be natural progression.
I mean that's what I was saying. Like Foo Fighters don't need to do it. I mean, they could.
Yeah, but any of them need to do it. Why do
they
the ones
do Wembley by
now?
themselves?
But so could all the headliners now, though.
Yeah, that's it.
But they still do it.
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know. It's hard because everyone's got to start somewhere.
I think it'll be Guns N' Roses this year.
I hope so.
Everyone keeps talking about Van Halen, and I think even did the Foos not get mentioned for Download as well?
They're definitely worthy headliners of Download.
Green Day have never done it.
No, they could,
but they fill out.
Bon Jovi's never done it.
All of those bands, say in the next 10 years, they're all the bands that got famous in a way that doesn't exist anymore. Mm-hmm. So when you get to those bands, the last ones have gone pre-internet, I suppose it is.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be interesting to see what does it level out at? Yeah. Will there be stadium touring bands in 10 years, 15 years?
Will there be a Download festival? Will there be Leeds and Reading? You know, it's that sort of thing. Will these festivals still exist, or will they then be doing the thing where they pay the right band to come out of hibernation just to play for them? They're sure to get people through the gate. You just don't know.
Or will whatever's considered the top have to come down a notch? Yeah, for a while, I suppose.
Or will the festival downsize to accommodate the demand?
Take a stage away or something.
Yeah, you just don't know.
But that's why I like Bloodstock, because the new Blood stage, a whole weekend of just all new bands, up and coming bands. I think Download should do something like that.
I think Download like to put a few in on the third stage, don't they?
Yeah.
And is it the Doghouse stage? The one at the top of the hill in the back corner. That's where I saw like Butcher Babies and Chelsea Grin and stuff like that.
And Marmosettes.
Yeah, and so. You know, I don't know. I really don't know what the future holds, to be honest. But if people don't come out and watch bands and stuff like that,
it's part of the reason why a lot of the smaller venues are closing, because not people aren't going out.
People don't go to the £5 gigs; they'd rather go to the £90 gig or the £50 gig. You know, which don't get me wrong, we all do it.
But you should do both.
Yeah.
But there's not enough people doing both. So there's more people spending all their money on the big ones, but not small ones. I think. Maybe they don't think that they're going to get value for money, like £6 for 4 awesome bands.
Maybe bands are underselling themselves. They go, well, if it's only £6, you know, how good's it going to be?
The other problem is now with the internet, there's so many bands. Like, what have you got to do to stand out to get someone's attention? Like, cause like in a magazine or in a website, it's just band after band after band after
and it's
band.
hard to be original now.
Well, yeah. How are you what's gonna make them click on you?
Yeah. I think Shane was saying in the car the other day, had there not, like scientifically proved that now every possible variation of playing notes has been played. Something like that. They proved that out of the millions and millions of.
I think I might have read the same. It's like a combination. If it's got 8 numbers, there's like
a combination of notes, and everyone's now been played in some way, shape, or form. So, theoretically,
everything's
no
been done.
one can be original.
Yeah, everything's been done.
Yeah.
So the more we go on, the harder it is going to be.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
And sadly, this is where I announce we'll have to finish it here.
Oh yeah, you've got to get out of here, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a pub lunch waiting for me.
You've got a prior engagement.
Sorry.
I didn't know you had plans.
Yeah.
How dare you have a social life?
It's meant to be, but
I drove from Carlisle for this.
It's been changed. You can stay if you want.
No.
I'll just nick your car.
No.
Oh yeah, you pick him up.
No, you could just walk home.
But I won't get there in time.
How long have we been going, Tech?
No, so I didn't get off at the pub lunch.
Cool. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you eat everything. It's too expensive.
I'm going to go home and have Rice Krispies.
You're like 2 starters, a main course, and 4 desserts.
Well, we'll do it
to maintain this body, you know.
We'll do it again when your album comes out. We'll have you
again. Do it.
We'll do another one.
Thanks for joining us. I've really enjoyed it.
No, thank you.
It's been funny. It's been good.
What's your Twitter?
Falling Red Official.
Yeah, Twitter at Fallen Red Official, I think it is.
Yeah, Facebook's Fallen Red Official, Instagram's Fallen Red Official.
And you've all got your own personal accounts.
Yeah, you'll find us. If you
we'll find it, we'll put the links in the show notes.
To be honest, if you go on www.fallen-red.com, everything's in there. Social media, gig listings, ticket links,
all the links.
And you've got your tour with Farquhar and
Fragile Things.
Farquhar and Fragile Things.
You know, all going well for them if Rich is well enough to come and do it.
Yeah.
But
so the album Lost Souls you can get at those gigs.
Yep.
If not, or if they've pledged. Is this pledge still open? Or
Pledge is done. No, pledge is done. All the CDs have gone out.
So you either get it at these gigs in November,
or you wait
till March,
because it won't be digital until March or anything.
So you can check out My Town, My City. Have you put anything else?
No, just My Town, My City at the moment.
Right.
There is a short sort of snippet on our Facebook of Hell in My Eyes and Enemies.
Right.
Just like 30 seconds of each.
We'll put a link to it.
You know, so. But yeah, that's all you can hear for now, and then we'll have another video coming out. And as the promo wagon sort of steps up, we'll be you'll see more and more of us.
Yeah, come back for another podcast.
Yep, nice one, guys.
Yeah, I like
cheers.
This. I'm bringing a jumper next time, though.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for coming down, guys. Really appreciate it.
Skipped on the heating.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
See you later on.